Hey, good Friday afternoon. Finally, Friday, am I right? Well, no rest this weekend because we have several storm chances in the forecast. Yesterday, our Mets stayed busy with that 4-star hailstorm outside of Omaha, but overnight last night and into early tomorrow morning, we produced 2 additional 3-star storms in Wisconsin and in Iowa. So we've got 3 different states, 3 different storms. We'll talk about them in just a minute. From Texas to Michigan, we have storms once again today. Really good chance for storms over Texas and Oklahoma today. Very, very active weather day to come. And could we see an Easter weekend outbreak? How many of those have we seen? I feel like this is a very common occurrence that over Easter weekend, storms like to fire up. And that's exactly what we're seeing this weekend as well. So stay weather aware even if you have family travels this weekend, because we are expecting storms both Saturday and Sunday in the south. Now let's take a look at that significant hail model where you can see that yes, we have a pretty good chance for some large hail up to the north today. I mean, that's pretty rare to see. Chicago all the way to Michigan, especially on the southern side of Wisconsin, northern side of Illinois, and southern side of Michigan. We have another really good chance for storms down in Oklahoma and Texas as well. I would like to highlight this area right here from Oklahoma City all the way down to just south of Dallas for today. That's where I think we could see another round of storms producing large hail, not only today but also tomorrow. You see those oranges and reds start to surge back in by tomorrow afternoon, and we have another round of storms. Let's first get to what we saw yesterday, and then we'll talk about what we're seeing tomorrow, or excuse me, today and tomorrow and Sunday. Let's talk about your 24-hour storm reports here. Yesterday afternoon, we saw some storms across Minneapolis and St. Cloud. I think this was Clear Lake. I think I'm correct on this, where we saw those quarter-size hail reports, 1 inch in size. Then we hopped down to Nebraska. So this is the Nebraska and Iowa state line here, southwestern Minnesota. One storm that could, I mean, it was one storm that kicked all of it off. We had one supercell that started up pretty meager at first. It was a 1-incher, quarter-size hail is what it was producing. All of a sudden, we saw another storm blow up, and it was these 2 supercells that really gave us all of the activity for the night. We started to see baseball-sized hail with up to 82-mile-per-hour wind gusts, a very, very impressive storm right here just to the northwest of Omaha, Fremont. Some really, really impressive photos out of Fremont and videos. We have all of those posted on our social media websites, so go over to Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We've got those really impressive videos out of Fremont from that large hail yesterday. This storm continued to track to the east into Iowa. This southern one, that's your tornado producer. Wow, really impressive radar signature right there. This northern one, this was your hailer. Omaha, just kind of bookended by these storms, one to the north, one to the south, but a direct hit to Omaha was not what we saw yesterday. They really lucked out there. As we continued throughout the overnight hours, these storms continued to track to the east, barely missing Des Moines, kind of skimming on the southern side of Des Moines, but this southern storm farther down to the south here, about an hour, hour and a half outside of Des Moines, was your tornado producer. We saw several reports of tornadoes on the ground. It just continued over and over and over to produce those tornadoes. Again, just 2 supercells here, and we saw dozens of over 2-inch hail reports, some high wind, and several tornadoes last night. This finally started to dissipate over Davenport, Iowa, but we were not done yet. Early this morning, storms fired up farther up to the north, so we're once again back into Iowa early this morning. And these storms continued to track across Iowa and into Wisconsin, where we saw another 2 3-star storms, once again producing dozens of reports of hail over 2 inches in size. Right now, these storms have finally made it to the northern side of Michigan. Still seeing those reports right now over Grand Rapids. So let's get to the storms that we saw yesterday. Our meteorologists tracked 1 4-star storm and 2 3-star storms. They mapped those storms. However, all the other storms that we saw yesterday also mapped. They didn't just stop at the 3 and the 4 stars. We have 1 2-star storms, of course, mixed in there as well. But let's get to those most significant storms yesterday. This one just to the north of Omaha, Fremont, I think, was the big kicker here. Pretty well populated area, over 75,000 people or houses impacted, with the max hail size at 4.5 inches. Holy moly. That is a massive hailstone. Fremont, Bennington, and Underwood, Iowa. So Bennington, Nebraska, Underwood, Iowa is what we have for this 4-star hailstorm. Now we have a 3-star. Again, this was overnight tonight and into early this morning. I do want to make one note on this storm here. We had someone ask on Facebook earlier about Platteville, Wisconsin, and it gets a little confusing about how these storms are mapped. We map based on Zulu time. I'm not going to explain what that is. If you're a weather nerd like we are, you already know what that is. But we map a little bit differently, where our storm maps from yesterday go all the way into 6 a.m. this morning. Since this storm right here was so early this morning, it is technically on yesterday's map. So it's on April 17th's map, even though it happened early this morning, April 18th. If that does not make sense, you can give us a call and we will explain that to you. But I do want to make sure that you know, if you're looking for this storm, it is technically on yesterday's map at hailtrace.com. All right, let's talk about it here. Max hail size, baseball size hail, and over 100,000 homes impacted here. Now we're getting to our last 3-star. You can see that that storm continued into the eastern and southern side of Wisconsin. We've got Evansville, Edgerton, Watertown on here. Again, baseball size hail with this, and over 50,000 homes impacted with this 3-star. What an active morning. I kind of feel like since we kicked off the day like this, we probably have a pretty active day to come. And I don't have to do too much explaining about why I think that. You look at one weather model and you say, absolutely, you're going to see some storms. Now, it's pretty warm out there today. We've got that cold air moving in. So for Easter Sunday, make sure you grab that jacket. It's going to be much chillier this weekend and pretty rainy as well. Got some light rain going on across southern Oklahoma, Texas right now. There's your cold front that's going to kick off a lot of those storms later on today. But for the most part right now, we've just got that light to moderate rain. I don't think, but I could be wrong on this, do we have anything severe right now? I don't see anything. But I could be wrong on that. If we do have anything severe, it's not too terribly impressive. We haven't talked about anything. 75 is your current temperature here in Oklahoma City. Big drastic difference farther up to the north, where you're sitting in the 40s and 50s and even in the 30s out in Denver. Yeah, we've got snow coming for Colorado. It's more of a wintertime feeling farther back to the west, and then that spring-like feeling farther down to the south. We've got that clear divide there. And that's exactly where we're expecting those storms. On the warm side of that front is where you can expect storms today. Anywhere from Chicago, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Dallas, all in the risk for storms. So let's talk timeline here. Popping up the future radar here, you can see that a lot of those storms start to fire up in the afternoon hours. Chicago timeline, about 7 to midnight tonight. Oklahoma timeline, anytime after 4 o'clock, however, coming into Oklahoma City a little bit later, right around sundown. For Dallas, your storms are going to be even later. Could you have a few eager storms right around sundown? I think it's possible. However, I would put that timeline in Dallas to more of an overnight system. It's rainy for all of us, though. I mean, you're going to wake up to that rain on early Saturday morning, getting into Saturday afternoon, still raining. So not only are we watching for large hail, high wind, and several tornadoes here, very similar to what we saw last night, but we are also watching for that flooding risk, because you can see from what we start seeing this afternoon, same areas getting storms tomorrow. This really doesn't move too much, which means it's just raining over and over and over, causing that flooding issue to increase, especially as we get into Saturday. You can see that that risk on Saturday does start to shift down to the south a little bit. Oklahoma City, Dallas still included in that risk for tomorrow, but it only goes as far north as St. Louis, so places like Chicago, out of the risk for tomorrow. Sunday, we have another chance for storms, but we'll get to that here in just a few minutes. I want to go 2 days at a time, so we'll talk about today and tomorrow, then we'll talk about Sunday. Look at those dew points. Anytime that we see this green surging in from the Gulf, you know that we've got some moisture in the air. And what did we talk about? The main ingredients for storms? Moisture and heat. So we've got those warm temperatures. It's in the mid-70s right now here in Oklahoma, and we've got that moisture surging in from the Gulf. Those dew points are rising. We are going to absolutely have the correct ingredients for storms today. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some of your storm risks. There we go. We talked about that hail risk. One area up to the north, another one down to the south. What about that hail forecast? So this is your hail trace, hail forecast. Chicago, Aurora, Detroit, all included in that $50 to golf ball size hail. I left an area in here, and I know Kansas City, you guys are not going to be happy with me with this. Kansas City has over and over and over been in a risk and just continued not to get anything. I know. I hope that I'm wrong here, or we'll see. It kind of depends on what you're hoping for, if you want me to be wrong or right. It does look like if you're going to get anything, it'll be small hail, and it's a pretty low risk even at that. Oklahoma City, Texas, there's your risk right there. Once again, baseball-size hail possible here between Oklahoma and central southern Oklahoma, northern Texas. That's where we're expecting the largest hailstones today. I think that we have a really good chance in this area right here to get some good, strong storms producing large hail. I'm not saying those storms are good. I'm saying they're really impressive storms. Moving on, kind of going city by city here, I'm going to zoom in to show you those polygons, those areas that I'm expecting the largest hail, anywhere from the southern side of Wisconsin all the way to southern central Michigan. We've got northern Indiana, northern Illinois included in this. Again, Kansas City just missing out. I think that larger hail sizes will start around Springfield, south of Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Texas included in that, especially on the west side of Dallas. Now, Dallas, you have another chance for storms tomorrow, and we'll get to that here in just a few minutes. But what do we think the max forecasted hail size is today? Could we get reports of baseball-size hail? Absolutely. I think that's absolutely possible. Severe weather breakdown. What about the other hazards? Tornado, high wind, flooding. I kept the flooding risk low for today. That will go up significantly for tomorrow. Large hail, absolutely possible. I put it in the high category. Tornado risk increased from yesterday. We put it in the moderate risk. That's a level 4 on a scale of 8. High winds also going to be an issue for today, right around 75 to 80 miles an hour. Here's your wind forecast. Now there's one area in particular that you could get the highest winds. That is farther down into Oklahoma, really anywhere from southwest to northeastern side of the state. That's where you could get some of those higher winds. Tornado forecast for today. Better chances just to the west of Dallas, anywhere from the north central to the central portion of Texas, central western portion of Texas. It's a level 2. It's on the board. Make sure that you are keeping an eye on those nocturnal storms, because a lot of these could come through while it's dark. It's going to be very difficult to see these storms, especially if we've got a lot of rain. They could be rain-wrapped tornadoes. Let's get to Saturday. Saturday, it looks like we still have a really good chance for some large hail, anywhere from Dallas all the way down to the south. Now this shifts just a little bit to the east here, so I still included Dallas in that large hail up to the size of a baseball. Oklahoma City starts to get out of this risk. Springfield, almost out of this risk. Indianapolis, you could get some smaller hail right around quarter to $half size. So again, Dallas, best chances for storms tomorrow, anywhere from Texas all the way down to Waco, Austin, all included in that risk. Let's see if we're going to the next slide here. Sometimes I press that button and I wonder if the signal's getting across the room. Or maybe I'm just eager. I'm eager to get on to the next slide. Forecasted max hail size for tomorrow, I have it at tennis ball size hail, right in between that 2.5 to 2.75 range. I was right between tennis to baseball size hail. But yes, do I think that we could get a report of tennis ball size hail tomorrow? Absolutely. It's not going to be everyone, but I think at least someone will see that. Your wind forecast for tomorrow, not too much different from today, about 65, 70 miles an hour. I think it'll be pretty rare to get up to 75 mile per hour wind gusts. And that tornado risk for tomorrow. Once again, it looks like I have put the incorrect tornado risk for today on there. So I apologize about that. You know what I'll do? I'm going to correct my mistake. I'm going to go into the comments after this live is over, and I will make sure that I differentiate which risk is for which day, okay? I apologize for making that a little confusing, but let's move on to Sunday. Now on Sunday, we have another chance for storms, and that's once again a little bit farther to the south and east, anywhere from St. Louis to Memphis, all of Arkansas included in that level 2 risk highlighted there in orange, and then even as far south as Houston, northern Louisiana, all included in that risk. Finally, storms continue to track to the east by the time we get to Monday. Do I think that we could see storm risk on Monday? Possible, but I think it'll be a really low risk on Monday. And there's your weekend forecast. It's going to be a stormy one. Make sure that you have multiple ways to get alerts as you head out to your Easter plans. If you have any outdoor activities, check the forecast before you head outdoors. I don't want you to be out there finding Easter eggs while it's lightning. You guys know the rules. When it roars, go indoors. When in doubt, take another route. Don't get involved in that flooding risk either, especially Saturday into Sunday. That's going to be the biggest risk for flooding. Future temperatures, it does look like we see a pretty significant cool down after all of these storms move through. You've got that low pressure system finding its way to the east, slowly but surely. Look at your highs on, actually I want to go back and find your highs on Sunday. I sped through it just a little bit. Here's Saturday morning. Saturday evening, people in Oklahoma, you're seeing about a 10-degree temperature drop, so we're down into the 60s. Sunday afternoon, 50s and 60s. It's chilly out there. That's jacket weather. Dallas, jackets for church on Sunday morning. If you're headed out to your Easter Sunday morning church, you need a jacket. 57 in Kansas City, 51 in Minneapolis. A lot of us seeing that cool down. Alrighty, moving on. High winds, yes, today. Tomorrow, it looks like we should have some high winds. We do see a fire risk on the backside of this system, so that's something to watch for as well. Make sure that you're not in any burn bans before you do any outdoor burning. Just wait until conditions improve. Will they? It's going to be pretty hot over the next week. April 23rd to the 27th, it looks like temperatures are staying above average for this time of the year. So we're warmer than average as we head into the end of April, and we've also got that moisture staying very, very active here. So what this tells us is we're most likely going to see this active trend continue. You know how we have day after day of weather right now? We'll probably continue to see that with multiple chances for rain each and every week. And if we have that heat on top of that, that means that we have a really good chance for severe weather as well. Alrighty, thanks for joining us today. Our meteorologists will be tracking storms for you all day long. We have people staffed 24/7, even through the weekend. But we will also be coming to you live from wherever you're watching this forecast right now. So if you would like those live updates, make sure that you hit that follow button, and we'll make sure that you're alerted anytime a big storm comes into a big city. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're a weather nerd like us, we also post a lot of hail videos and just forecasts on these platforms as well. And if you're interested in a hail, wind, or tornado map, give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. You can also head over to our website for more information, hailtrace.com. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. We'll probably be back live in a few hours to update you on storms ongoing, so make sure you hit that follow button. We'll see you in a few hours.